What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. I'm your boy NarikChase, and in this video we're going to be reviewing The Cartel. Now, The Cartel is a 2009 urban crime novel written by Ashley Antoinette and JaQuavis Coleman, and the story is set about crime. After Miami drug kingpin Carter Diamond dies, rival factions clash for control of his empire as his illegitimate son embraces his inheritance. Assassin Miamor seeks revenge, forcing both lovers into a collision course between loyalty, love, and violence. And I gotta say, I did not like this book. This book is definitely not for me. I'm not opposed to crime novels. I'm not opposed to criminals being like the main protagonists. There are a lot of great material and a lot of great franchises and series where this can excel. Look at stuff like Breaking Bad. Look at The Wire. There are like Boardwalk Empire. There are a lot of good stories set in crime families and things that make for compelling writing. Unfortunately, this was not it. There's a lot of problems with this book, and we'll go ahead and jump right into it. First of all, I don't like any of the characters. Not because they're criminals, it's all because every single character is a cliche, they're a trope, they have almost no depth to them. The main characters are Carter Jones and Miamor, and neither one of these characters are interesting in the slightest. And there's a good setup to the characters, but they do not fulfill in any kind of capacity. Carter is this illegitimate son who's gotten brought into this empire of crime, this mob-like crime empire. But the problem with his character is he's already been in the drug game and stuff. There's no learning curve for him. There's no character development of him being taken out of this life of normalcy and thrown into this criminal empire. He's already the best at what he's already done, and he's the best at what he does when he gets there. There's no mistakes being made. There's literally no growth to his character. When you look at Miamor, she's supposed to be this assassin, and there's not one instance in this book of her being an assassin. There's no reason to believe she's an assassin at all in this entire book. And then there are sequences where she's supposed to be doing her job, she does not do them. The relationship between them is okay. I think a part of it feels a bit rushed. I can understand them having this moment when they see each other, but I think between what's going on in their lives and the way the book is written, I don't really buy their relationship, at least not as fast as it started. Really, all of the other characters, again, they're complete tropes. They're not interesting in the slightest. You have the two brothers, Money, and the other brother that's kind of this wild card. They're not interesting. They have conflict, and it's literally the latest form of conflict between one being used to negotiate, want to be more diplomatic, and one want to be more violent. There's no nuance between the characters. The sister, not interesting in the slightest. The mother, not interesting in the slightest. The story would have benefited had she tried to take over the empire because her husband was the one that was running the show. Now she's got to kind of fill in his shoes and help Carter kind of take his place among them. There's really no chemistry or no instance in the book. I mean, it's brought up at one point where, you know, this illegitimate son gets brought into it, but it's quickly glossed over. The villains in the book aren't interesting. The murder mamas, this group of assassins in the book, aren't interesting. Literally, this is a great idea, but just everything is just completely underperformed. The characters the best at what they do. It's pretty by the numbers. You know this character, what's going to happen to him based on the trope that they have. So I think that The Cartel could have been a great book. I think the idea of it is a good idea, but everything about it is lazy. Carter's introduction into this empire doesn't have any development curve to it. All of the family members, they're all one note. They're literally one note. There's literally there's literally no depth to any of these characters whatsoever. Miamor and the murder mamas completely, and I mean completely, just you would think that they're supposed to be the best assassins. You don't get that at all. It actually feels like everything that happens in this book is the first time that they tried to do it. So, and really, and I don't mind. I will say this: some good comes from the Carter and Miamor storyline of this kind of like this romance has moments. It does generally have some good moments. It does have moments where, despite everything that's going on, that they work. And then kind of when things are revealed and they find out that they're on the opposite sides of the fence, kind of the fallout of it. Also, it does make for some dramatic moments. But everything leading up to it, everything surrounding it, it's just not done particularly well. And this right here, what I want to say is kind of an example of the lazy writing. There's a moment where the Carters are having kind of this meeting with all of their lieutenants across the city and stuff. And Carter says what he has to say, and none of the lieutenants say anything different. Literally nobody at the table says anything. They don't do any reports. They don't have any worries. They just follow on this guy's every word. There's no nuance with the conversation. He said something, everybody bought it. There's no two people butting heads. There's no two people having opinions. There's nobody reporting anything that this guy doesn't know. There's no giving other people tasks or anything. These are the type of moments you want to, and those types of moments give these characters nuance. They give it's good for world building. Things that Carter cannot directly witness, these characters can report to him, and it helps with the world building. And we don't get to see that. We do not get to see that at all. So I was really, really disappointed with this book. But I also recognize, like, this really ain't my forte. This ain't my cup of tea. There's a lane for it. There's a niche for it. And there are people that do enjoy it. But like I said, I'm not against crime stories or anything like that. The problem is the characters got to have depth. Even if there are tropes, even if there is predictability to the plot, you got to write deep, engaging characters. And really, Carter and Miamor might be the deepest, but they're shallow. So I'm not looking forward to reading any more of these books. I'm not going to say I don't recommend reading it or whatever, tell somebody not to read it. I'm not going to personally read them anymore. And generally, when I read a book, I pick up on reading the rest of the series. But this series, I'm not interested in. This book, I got to say, deserves 1 out of 5. I wish there was more redeeming qualities to it, but it's just the characters are just so flat. The story is so predictable. The writing sometimes doesn't make sense, especially with the setups. There's no character development. There's no interesting arcs. There's no interesting subplots. Literally, it's just by the numbers. And you've seen this story a million times. No deviation. And like I said, it'd be different if the characters had depth to them. They don't. They absolutely do not. And honestly, based on what happens during this book and even the conclusion of the book, I don't see how there's a series. I honestly don't. But hey, that's just me. In the comment section below, guys, let me know, what are your thoughts? Have you read The Cartel? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you agree with any of my points? And if you did like the book, please tell me who's your favorite character, because I personally don't have any. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got going on the channel. And we'll definitely catch you guys later.